Welcome to Ollie's Adventures, episode 3 of Crawling in the Caribbean. For today's adventure, we'll be crawling in Antigua, and we'll be crawling over cannons, superyachts, passarelles, and anchors, and much more. So come along for today's adventure. So that's the Black Pearl over here, and it used to be the biggest sailing yacht in the world. It's a square rigger, but the mast can rotate, and it has 20 sails, because each rudder has its own sails that's motorized. So here we are, my workshop in a very exotic location. So I took the screw out of the differential hubs, and they're too long because they would get in the wheel, the way of the drive shaft in there.
The
Axle. So those ones didn't work. We can't take any from those slings.
Maybe there's some on the side of the frame we can take for now.
Oh yeah.
We can borrow. Yeah.
So here we are at Nelson's Dockyard. You can see the old buildings that have been refurbished, and all of the super yachts here, which will be crawling on the dock. So stay tuned to see that happen. Ready? Do you think we can get through this room?
Maybe over here you can get through.
No. The well cage. Here we are at Fort Berkeley, and we're gonna do some crawling. High-speed roof climbing. Anything, watch this. Look at the axle twist.
Slow and steady.
I'm gonna get it.
Put your tires right to the top, and then you should be able to crawl the top.
Oh my.
Keep going. Hey, keep going.
I don't want to go.
Keep going. Keep going. There.
Wow. Just was climbing up the roof is the powder magazine, and then they store the gunpowder in that for the pistols and stuff and cannons, and they usually have little like mazes, so if there's an attack or spark, and sparks can't go and light that on fire, but so it could have some airflow. And this is where they put the cannons here in these slits and shoot at the enemy ships. So this is what some of the cannons would have looked like if they were still here. And there's some type of cannons that shoot over walls and some that shoot far. This one shoots far, and it's got the Her Majesty crest because it was British. This next clip will be transitioning to driving on the superyacht's docks. So we didn't know that there's security for the big boats, so we couldn't crawl on that dock, but we can crawl on this dock, which over there has some big yachts and sailing yachts.
They're still a couple 100 feet. I think they're pretty big. Oh, careful.
Here in this clip, I am driving on a superyacht's passarelle. A superyacht's passarelle is this piece of wood or whatever it could be made out of, and it's mainly used on boats more in Europe because they dock farther away from the docks or moorings, so people can get off their boat easier. And these two very nice men were just sitting there talking to each other, and I was just crawling around on the dock by their boat. And I asked them with a big voice, and I said, "Excuse me, do you think I could crawl on your passarelle?" And then they said sure, so I crawled on it, and they were very nice. We talked for them a bit. And the worst that they could say is no. So always ask. The worst that they could say is no. This is on low. And we're starting to turn to this side. Look how much of the tire is actually on the anchor.
How's that steering servo?
Amazing. So this is a capstan that they used to have the men, and they would push them. They would have two on each arm here.
Each spoke.
Each spoke, and then they would dock the ship sideways here, and there'd be a rope around here, and they would attach it to the boat. There's another one over there, and another one. So they would do that on the stern, the midship, and the bow. And why they did this is because the salt water has little microorganisms and worms that will eat and rot the wood, so it will leak. So every couple months they would have to do this. They would change the wood, and the other workers, the woodworkers, I forget what's it called.
Yeah, woodworkers.
Woodworkers go on the keel and repair it. And the blacksmiths, nails and tools that those are the blacksmiths.
And they have all those buildings here where the blacksmiths used to work and the woodworkers and stuff like that. Great explanation.
Thank you.
So shall we crawl the capstan?
Yes. That's the most interesting.
No.
Yeah, we can make them.
So you can see where your big tires now are starting to hit the bottom.